Can you do agile without a coach? And what are the disadvantages? What are the advantages and what do you need to take care of? Last week I had a fantastic meetup with the Global Agile Meetup group, and actually a lot of people from all over the world, from Mexico, from US, from Israel, from Germany came together in an online meeting to discuss this question and also to create some tips and tricks how you can achieve a good agile project setup without a coach. Now you are able to watch the record of this meetup. If you want to join yourself, check the links down in the video for entering the meetup group and get connected with the next date. The format was like an open space, but we had the topic agile without a coach before, and we even had a little survey which you can see the results at the end. The meeting was held in Zoom, and I often moderated meetings in Zoom because I like the breakout rooms feature a lot. It's very effective to send people in smaller groups because the collaboration increases, and it's easier to collaborate in a group of 3 or 5 people than collaborate in a group of 12 people within an online meeting. And this is a result of the first round where I asked the people to get a first overview about advantages and disadvantages about doing agile without a coach. Not that big trouble. And I hope you stay on time, so I will not use the timer now.
Super. It's 1 minute, 5 minutes. No, what? I keep it short.
Just share as much you like.
Awesome. Yeah, we had a very controversial talk about why it makes sense to actually have a coach or no coach. However, we need skills actually that integrate. I don't know whether you can hear this construction going on very loudly. Hopefully not. Otherwise, I need to. No. Suddenly they started constructing at my building. Whatever, we discussed that curiosity is actually key, and our mental models are built into software. And if we have actually engineers or developers who actually prefer just handling tickets and doing their thing and not really talking to other people when creating services or software, then you just don't get the best quality with security built in or whatever. So we need a steep learning curve, people who want to actually get to know other people and to integrate so that the software is also integrated, integratable. And communication is key. So if people are actually, making an effort to communicate with the rest of the team, it's not only a group of people, it's actually a team building something, then it's going to be the best solution you can build. That's what we are sure of. And please, guys, add if I missed something.
I'll jump in here as well. I was saying that I've actually recently been working with a client where I made a real emphasis on me doing as little as possible. I'm the agile coach. I'm doing as little as possible, almost like I'm not there, as much as possible. And we did find, so it was really for the managers and whoever is really interested in this stuff to carry it. And I found that it works a lot better than having me being in the middle of it. But I think, I was lucky maybe in that particular situation. I think there is also a risk of, without playing a real role as the coach in a big organization, let's say, with a really difficult transformation, it can become too much for the managers. And they could just get overwhelmed with the whole thing and give up. So on the good side, it could be a good, steep, fast learning curve for them. And on the other side, they might just abandon the whole thing.
Okay.
It's a risk,
yeah. More from the first group questions. I was a bit, for me, it was hard, to not take part in the discussions. I was looking around and I feel like, okay, now my role is as a facilitator and not a participant. But Yeah, maybe next time I'm gonna get support so I can also take part in it. Let's go to room 2.
Okay, I'm saying what I recall, which is probably not representative of the whole group, so everyone else, please chip in. We talked a little bit about ineptitude, about people not knowing what the essence of Agile is, and expecting the coach or whoever it is that's living the process to teach them rather than to be in a coachable stance. So that's one thing we identified as something we want to see changed in the world, and that if the real essence of being agile is forgot the word, communication between people and the direct communication between people and connecting back to what is it that we are doing here in terms of the business that we are here to create or to serve. People are more enclosed within the boundary of their roles, like I'm a front-end engineer or back-end engineer or a QA engineer, rather than working together to get stuff done. So please, teammates, add words on what I was sharing.
Something more to add. Thanks, Ian. Something more to add for session 2? That was the first round. In this first round, we had great discussions, and people were writing down the things they know on the Zoom board, which was also part of the meet. As you see, people got a lot of discussion. They had brought it a lot of aspects of doing Agile without a coach. And for writing things down, I use the Miro board. It's always effective if they have a visual tool to write stuff down for a later discussion. In the second part, I gave them a small task, giving tips and tricks how to perform Agile without a coach, and you can watch this round now. So now the automatic turn back of everyone was activated, and I think this time I'm going to use timer from 5 minutes, and if there are questions afterwards, we can discuss questions, but we can start with group 1. As we remix a group, it's fair to start with 1 again. It's the most easy stuff. Where's your stuff on the board, group 1? So I can show it. Was Ahmed, Konstantin, Maras?
Okay, yeah, I forget which group we were.
I don't know which group I was in either.
It was your group.
Yes, because I was in a group 1 all the time, and no.
Next time I need to give different names, maybe comic heroes or something, so people can easier remind.
Okay, so we are the group of that are not organized enough to put our tickets inside the tips here.
Yeah.
You can see all of these are.
We were having good conversation, good valuable conversation. But go ahead, Ahmed. Or I can chip in because I heard a lot. So.
Okay, so as you can see, we have a lot of points. I will say like the first point we started with was the finding out about it. So it's like the golden question: is Agile is good for me? What is it exactly? Would it serve my situation? Like is the shift worth it in the first place? This is the thing. The other thing would be to advise this company or the friends to look for communities that can support them, recommend some courses for them, books, and resources in general. Articles that for the best practice, identify the okay. So yeah, also for the resources, like giving them some articles about the best practice. There was also the helping them identifying the pain points, the major things, and what let's say the stories that they're gonna create, or the or like the whole configuration for their agile, you know. So I would say identify the pain points here.
Yeah, I'm bringing that across.
Um,
As you talk about them, I'm bringing them across.
Yeah. Also, like in the same area, also I like this is also laying under the identifying the needs, and what would be my needs? What should I do for the agile, and would it be fitting for me? It's like somehow it's all connected. So these stay there also. These points, creating new process or rebuilding something that already exists. This was from Miley. Sorry,
Constantine.
from Scene. Sorry. Maybe you want to talk about it more?
That was Constantine, but
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Constantine.
I can say a little bit, or Constantine, and tell me if I'm wrong, but basically Constantine was saying, make sure you don't break something that doesn't need fixing. So Agile is good, but don't just do Agile everywhere. Do Agile exactly where you need it and not on things that are functioning okay anyway. And I think that goes close to identifying the pain points, because you're only fixing where it's painful, what is not working at the moment. So I think that's about being clear about the need. Am I right, Constantine, or have I missed it out? You might be on mute if you're talking.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, my thought was about not breaking already working process and doing small iterative changes with close monitoring of what is working well, what is working wrong, and iteratively fix things and change only that which is need to be changed.
I said that you should get input from a fresh perspective regularly, even if you don't have a full-time Agile coach. I think it is basically impossible to tell anybody what they need to do beforehand to do an Agile transformation, and they need to check in with someone who can observe and see what is happening and give them some input. Ahmed also said some structure. This is another thing that we can advise them on. Give them some, stick to, you know, your regular retrospectives and your stand-ups. Make sure you do those meetings, which I think is important as well. But I think after all of that, my view is that you need to get some experienced person to come and look at how things are every now and then to give you some advice, because they are outside, you know, and they can give you the outside view and give you some things that you won't see. Okay, I guess we're out of time.
So, any questions for group one? Maybe we can have some later. We can continue with group two. Thanks for this insightful stuff, and thanks for this great collection.
Yeah.
And who was in group two? It was Akande, Billy, Maren, and Nadja. So yes. I will start your time box. You're going to organize.
Nice. Yeah. We put everything in tips 1 and 2. We miscommunicated, I think, but hey, why not? Yeah, as you can see, we had a lot of points we put along on one, and I try to sum up what each one of us, or each idea of us was saying. So yeah, I'm gonna start with the individual words. you got to reflect. That's one of the biggest steps. Like the first group said, do you actually need Agile? And what am I doing here? Do we need fixing? What were we doing? What do we want to change? Yeah, that's something very, very big. And then we had Just Start. And that's basically, what do you do with a new topic if you don't know if it's helping or not? Like there is something new, I don't know. 10 years ago, there was Docker, completely new. What do you do with such a topic? You say, okay, one of us is going to read a lot about it, the others read a little bit, and we can decide together if we want to do it or not. Do research, and if you want to do it, just do it. I mean, you don't always need someone who comes along and tells you everything. You can actually go and show your dedication, which is also one point we had. Go around and show off if it works. If you don't get the support from your boss or from your leaders, adopt it and show off that it works for you. Connect with others, share what you learned, connect with other communities, with other companies, with other teams, to learn and adopt whatever method or, I don't know, practice you really like. But that also means you have sometimes you have to go the extra mile. So if you don't get the budget for it, or someone who's teaching it to you, sometimes you have to do that from yourself. So yeah, that's that. And we also had Ask Others. That means basically you can always get feedback and get better. Like Group 1 also said, just go out and get another one's perspective and just get better. You don't need to wait for anything. Yeah, and also talk. That was quite important. Start the conversations with the development managers. Start to explain why it's good. Start to ask why you don't get the budget. Is there any way you can shift anything, or make it happen? Try to talk to them. Try to see their perspective, why they think it's not gonna work, or why it's why you shouldn't fix something that works, or just try to talk to them. Yes, did I forget anything? You can fill in, the other guys.
Was everything we discussed. Thank you, Maren.
Very good. Yeah.
Thanks for the nice insights. I think it's very valuable. And I had a good stuff. You got 50 more seconds. You want to use it or drop it?
Drop it.
Okay.
Well, Team 1 can say, there's one thing that I missed, which was, I think Ahmed didn't say this either. We say bit by bit as well. So maybe do it with one team, see how that goes, and then don't try and do everything at the same time. So I'll just take your 15 seconds there. Thank you.
Okay.
And also, if you have a lot of people who say, hey, that works for us, maybe it does enough pressure to the boss, and he at some point says, okay, explain it to me. So bit by bit, and maybe it's enough to convince them or whatever. But yeah, bit by bit.
Exactly. Wow.
Now the timer is used. 2, 1, 0. Time is up. And we have a third group, and I think the third group is going to share also a lot of stuff, and looking forward to it. Who's going to be in that group? It's Guy, James, Ian, and Sean. Actually, the global meetup is a bit difficult in names, but I'm going to start. Are you ready to present?
John.
Yes, where's
okay, so yeah, the sticky notes below the Lego approach, all of those.
Okay.
The ones, yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Show them. You can also look on the board, and I'm gonna start your timer now.
Yeah. So introducing to someone who's brand new to Agile is I usually come up with the Lego approach. So let's say if I'm giving you a blocks of Lego, right? Without even knowing, without even having the instructions, you'll start building something out of it. Let's say you want to embrace Agile in your day-to-day life, right? Start by doing it. And give that structure to yourself. Go through the manifesto a little bit, and you'll get a brief understanding. Okay, every day I wake up, I go to work. What are the tasks that I have at hand, right? You break that down, and by the end of the day or by the next day, you will also see how things have moved on. Did I improve? Did I close on certain activities? If I didn't, what do I do to improve that? So a Lego approach. It's constant because it has a gamified angle to it, and it has constantly helped me in terms of introducing new members, new friends as well to Agile and the ways of working. So the Lego approach, that's what I started calling it. And the behavioral aspects, how to bring team members as a cohesive unit, right? So whenever we're working in an Agile team, or let's say a team per se, and we want to embrace Agile ways of working, what kind of skill sets or personality that you would bring in together with the team, and how you would enhance each other. So let's say somebody has an extroverted personality, somebody has an introverted personality. How do you make the balance out of it so that you can make the best use of it? So that's what I call it as a behavioral aspects, where you can bring in the team to be more cohesive, and you can learn from each other's strengths and also on opportunities. I don't like to use the word flaws, but more on opportunities where each of us can grow. And then I would hand it over to Ilan. Please, I think the third point is from you.
Thank you. So let me just zoom in. A second. Yeah. So go to the Agile Manifesto, preferably with someone else, just to go back to the basics, because I think it's one of the things that we're missing. Read it out together. See if there's something intriguing that you would like to try out. And then Google it up or ChatGPT it up, come up with a question that's interesting for you. And then just try it out. Try it for a couple of months or 3 months and see how it goes. And then go to the next question. And together with that, it's be forgiving to yourself. So you'll make mistakes. Your managers will make mistakes. Your colleagues will make mistakes. That's called learning. That's okay. So that's the next thing. One other thing that we talked in the group is something that I've been trying for the last couple of retrospectives with the team, that they don't want to do retrospectives. It's the first team ever that I met that don't want to do retrospective. No, not really. And we tried something new together with the Scrum Master. We talked about some theme that's going on in the team, and then we look for a short video about it. And in the retro, we view the video together, and we do a short activity, such as 1 to 4 all from liberating structures. And from there, they come up with 2 or 3 experiments. If one of them succeeds, that's awesome. And then the next one is, I think, from James, right?
1, 2, 3, 4. No, so my one is the one with retrospect, not the retrospect, right down at the bottom there. Constantly reflecting on experiences, learning and increasing awareness. So basically, we're constantly reflecting on what's happened. We're learning through the experiences, as long as we're learning, but we're increasing our awareness, which is really important, which opens the doors for other things. focus on the goal. We always have to focus on the goal, and we have to prioritize, and we have to minimize the work in progress to help flow and maximize the quality. We have real-time feedback to minimize any derailments and waste of time, and just be honest. So from a person view within the team. Who else had others?
Okay. You got one more, like make a lot of mistakes. Just try to try things out. Something which is kind of agile methodology. And I gave you like a bonus minute to your time, as I liked how you shared how you shared the talking. Yeah, thanks for this great insights. I recorded all the stuff, and I think I'm going to make a bit like a mix of it to cut some statement out. Is anybody not okay with it? Like he said something he don't want to be shared. If there are misspeaks, I'm not going to create biggest fails section. So it was really interesting to see all these insights. And I think we had to have a lot of stuff, even like I was inspired in some ways, in some more ways. And when I saw the Lego approach, I first thought it's something like Spotify model, like a new approach of Agile, which they use at the Lego company. Because Lego company is doing Agile as well, as I know. They present a lot in Denmark at DevOps Days. They always present something. And I was like, maybe that's a new approach of the Lego company, but you were like building with stones. Yeah, interesting one. Any questions so far? You have, or any more questions you have?
Where are you going to share it? Where can we find this?
And where can you see this? This is a good question. Of course, you can follow my YouTube channel, Skills for Teams. Sometimes I also say, where can you see this? This is a good question. If you watch this video, you are actually seeing this either on YouTube or LinkedIn. But it's also good if you follow my channels, Skills for Teams, if you join the meetup group of Global Agile or follow Global Agile group on LinkedIn. You find all links down on this video, and sharing is caring. So if you want to support the event, take part, join the groups, share it with your friends, and even join us in our next meetup to collaborate, bring your own questions, bring your own ideas, and then you're going to be part of it. So besides joining the Global Agile Meetup, there was also the opportunity to give your tips to the topic Agile without a coach by contributing to a survey. And a lot of people did it, and most people were Agile coaches themselves. Some were coached by a coach, some had no coaches in organizations, and some no dedicated to the team. And there was a quite widespread idea how it should be done. If every team should have a dedicated coach, or if a coach should go around with the teams or serve multiple teams. And as a survey, I also asked for some tips. We can look a bit around. And some tips for the daily was hold the time box and discipline, a minute talk. So actually everybody sharing a minute. Having a board visible, and that's for me always also a good team. Make sure that clear and smart goal, long-term goal, or at least sprint goal at the board. Hold the stand-ups. Focus on what you're actually doing. Which knowledge does a team need to perform Agile without a coach is also interesting. This one, structure, empathy, organization, and connectivity is something I really like. Self-moderation, knowledge about the Agile or Scrum process, a shared understanding of the problem and the result to accomplish. If you know what to reach, it's a lot easier for teams. Deep understanding of Agile principles and mindset. I've also seen teams which didn't have that Agile principles and mindset in the beginning, but the will to learn. And that's also good if you just do Agile because somebody told you. Maybe not so good if you want to do Agile because you think it's working and good for you and helps you to accomplish your goal. It's good, and then you have a great chance. you also need the engagement from the C-level, from the management. Means like you get the support for doing this agile method. Yeah, I had some questions. Full-time coaches have the risk of getting too much disconnected from people doing development work, and most people said more on the no side, but also widely spreading. This question was interesting, like, at what time makes an agile coach himself unnecessary? This question is pretty interesting. A good team agile coach can make himself unnecessary within, and here most people said half a year. Some were shorter, like 3 months, 4 weeks, or like from the first day, and some were longer. One even said never. And I think one of the main goals of an agile coach is make himself unnecessary. The organizational people should adopt agile. I've never seen and if you do it well, you will make the team more and more self-organized and become more and more unnecessary. I like the tips I asked the people in the survey. And the biggest risk when you run a meeting without a coach, here it's like team loses itself in discussions, losing focus, and that's one of the biggest risk you have. I've seen a lot of meetings getting out of focus, and as an agile coach, you needed a lot of discipline to do it even yourself. What could help an agile meeting without a coach to succeed? And here it's a clear agenda which is set at some point, and also discipline and culture. It's shared agreement of the way of meeting and the specific rules. Who should replace the agile coach, and most were on all the developers, and some had other solutions. And I also asked for some tips. Let's see it here. I was too fast. Was make a clear board, have clear rules, have people focus and people disciplines on the time box, and that helps to organize the meeting a lot. Which knowledge a team should have, and here were also some tips. A method to share progress, and that could be a Kanban board. That could be, in my first agile team, we actually just had a checklist on paper, which we looked on every morning. It was not a perfect Kanban board, but we were just updating it. Kanban board is pretty good. It needs to be a real team, not just a group of specialists who act on themselves. They need to be together and have a common shared goal. And this is what I also get back. And also the engagement of management level is really good for the team, like having support of it. That was a short view in the survey. If you want to take part in the meetups, check the links under this video. I really would like to see you. I really would like to read your meaning under this video, and hopefully we see you again soon. Till the next time.